Check it. Alright guys, what is up? You are back for another video with Data Zero. This is your weekly update and prediction for AMC, GME, and SPY stock, where I give you guys a prediction and update where I think we're going to be headed for the week. Now, we do have year-over-year and core inflation rating coming out on Thursday, so we do want to watch out for that on Thursday for overall SPY volatility, and then we have earnings on the 8th for AMC volatility. We're going to be talking about all of that and more, what I expect in this video. I did a live stream just a little bit ago, so if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. Let's go ahead and hop in the charts, the facts, the data. Let's go. All right, guys, what is up? You are back for another video with Data Zero. In this video, we're looking at AMC stock, GME stock, and the overall stock market. This is your #1 spot for meme stock and stock market news and analysis. Let's go ahead and hop in the charts and see what we have going on. And again, this video is not financial advice. Please do your own research and technical analysis before buying any stock or crypto asset. This is your weekly update and prediction. Let's go ahead and hop in the charts and see what we have going on. So the first thing I want to point out is that we could be seeing a potential retest and consolidation of this 490 region, 480 region. What I'm expecting from AMC is to either consolidate sideways into earnings and get a push to the upside earnings, which is what technical analysis is telling me, or get a slight push to the upside and then come back down into earnings, getting a rally after earnings. I do think we're going to see a rally after earnings, okay? So historic context, AMC normally dumps after earnings. In my live stream, I went over earnings and all of the theories on why I think AMC is going to see a rally. Go ahead and check out that live stream if you guys want to see that. That just dropped. But go ahead and follow the rest of the video to understand where I think we are going here in the near future. So I do think we're going to see bullish momentum to the upside. We can see that we're starting to get a bullish MACD cross here on the MACD. Also, we're starting to see the Bollinger Bands constrict on the bigger time frame. So I do think we're going to see a push to the upside on AMC into earnings. So again, I do think after earnings, I apologize, not into earnings, but after earnings, I do think we're going to see a rally to the upside. Let's go ahead and show you guys the Bollinger Bands, what's going on with the Bollinger Bands and how they are constricting, letting us know that volatility is building for this stock. You guys can see that here on the 2-hour time frame they are constricting, and on the 4-hour time frame they are very, very, very constricted. You guys can see that they are very, very tight on the 4-hour time frame, again letting me know that volatility is building. I do think we're going to see consolidation here Monday, and then possibly Tuesday get a push to the upside. We're in this ascending channel, and I do think this ascending channel is going to continue to play out. So you can see that each day is marked with a dark blue and a white line. The white line is the day. It looks like Monday we will see consolidation and Tuesday get a push up. Now I am expecting a green week for AMC stock. I do think we're going to see a green week for AMC stock based off of the technical analysis and the bars pattern. So off of these two things, I'm giving a weekly prediction of a green weekly candle for AMC. So I do think we're going to see a green weekly candle. I predicted a green week last week, and it looks like we got that prediction right as well. I do expect more upside as the Bollinger Bands are starting to constrict, and we are in a overall uptrend, breaking out of this micro falling wedge and then this even larger falling wedge, which is telling me we're going to see a macro uptrend. All of these things are pointing to more upside, as well as the Wyckoff accumulation theory and market cycle and psychology theory. Again, in the live stream, I went over each of these things, explaining how AMC is going into the hope and disbelief, or the disbelief phase, and it's going to start a new upside. And I explained how we were in a euphoria phase, went down, and I'll go ahead and show you guys real quickly what that looks like. So basically, AMC had a major euphoria rally. That was the rally to 72. Then we had a complacency stage. So right here is your euphoria rally. Then you have this upwards consolidation chop, which is your complacency stage. Then you drop down into anger and depression. Anger and depression is going to be a lower low. This is going to be anger. This is going to be depression. And you guys can see that's going to lead us to a push to the upside. We can also see that we're working on a MACD cross here on the monthly time frame. Again, showing that we're going to go into another bull cycle. You can see that we have that euphoria before your rally, drop down, upwards consolidation chop is complacency, then anger and depression, which is a lower low, anger and depression, which is a lower low. And again, going into a new bull cycle, we have MACD starting to flip and Bollinger Bands constricting, letting us know that a massive volatility event is going to be coming. I do think it's going to be the second squeeze cycle. So this is what I'm looking at AMC based off of the charts, facts, and data. And again, when it comes to earnings, I do think we're going to see a rally after earnings to the upside. And again, historical context would show that that is normally going to be wrong because we normally dump after earnings. We normally rally into earnings and dump after. But if you guys have noticed, we have only had a slight rally here. I do think we're going to be flat on Monday and then get a rally here on Tuesday, which is exactly what the barge pattern is calling for. So guys, this is what I'm looking at for AMC on the short and long term based off of the technicals. Let's go ahead and look at GME stock. I'll show you guys what's going on for GME and where I expect GME to go here in the future based off of the technicals and give you guys a weekly prediction for the candles. So you guys can see that GME is in a massive falling wedge, also working on a bullish MACD cross as well. I do think we're going to see upside on GME as we are breaking out of this macro falling wedge, and the barge pattern is calling for basically a double bottom off of $20.30, which is exactly what it looks like we could be seeing on GME. So I want to point out GME is also showing a lot of bullish momentum here on the shorter time frames. What we could expect to see possibly based off of technical analysis and barge pattern is coming back down, retesting macro sloping resistance as support one more time and getting a push off of that, breaking out of this wedge and the macro wedge all at the same time. So it would break out of this yellow wedge and the macro wedge here marked in turquoise, all with the same move. And you guys can see each time we have retested this turquoise line, we've got a nice bounce off of that. This has been resistance for over 2 long years. It's been over 2 years since we have broken past that line of sloping resistance, and we are now using this as support. This is critical to show that GME is maintaining strength and about to see more movement to the upside. We also have a macro double bottom here for GME as well. You have bottom number 1 and then bottom number 2 right here. Again, this price target for this double bottom would take you all the way back up to this $40 range where there is this gap fill right here at that $40 range. I do think we're about to see upside on GME. We might see one more retest of that $20.50 level, but that's going to be the final retest, pushing us into the spring that we need to see for GME to maneuver to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at for GME based off the short and long term. As far as this week, I do expect GME to see upside on Monday and Tuesday, possibly seeing some downside on Wednesday. So basically, let's go ahead and show you guys on the short term what I expect. But I do expect GME to get a pop to the upside based off of the technicals, getting a nice push up, then coming back down, possibly to retest this $20 level for one more time as the spring and getting a push to the upside. Let's go ahead and show you guys what that looks like here on the bars pattern and why I do think we might have to retest that $20.50 zone one more time before getting a launch upside for an overall spring for GME stock. So based off of the bars pattern, this is what it's showing us, that we could see a potential retest of that level. So this is why I'm looking at GME potentially having to retest that $20 zone before taking off to the upside. So let's go ahead and show you guys that real quickly and then move on to the next analysis of SPY. And again, my weekly prediction and update for GME's weekly candle is going to be a green weekly candle. I do think we're going to see a green weekly candle for GME stock. You guys can see that it's calling for more upside, coming back down to retest this wedge right here one more time, retest the wedge, get that spring that we need, and bounce to the upside, breaking out of a overall larger pattern and fulfilling that double bottom and actually sending us to the absolute moon. GME has a very small float, and a lot of it is locked up in computer share. I do think we're going to see massive numbers from GME. You can see that once we break out of this wedge, it's calling for us to launch to the upside. So again, off the short-term and long-term macros, I do expect a green week for GME, possibly next week seeing a red week, but after that seeing a massive rally to the upside for GameStop stock based off of the technicals and fundamentals. So this is what I'm looking at for GME. And again, a green weekly candle for GME, a green weekly candle for AMC. And let's go ahead and look at SPY, showing you guys the weekly prediction update for SPY. So SPY, I do think is going to see more downside, okay? So I think SPY is going to be seeing more downside. Let me explain why I think SPY is going to have more downside. So we can see that the alligator here on the 4-hour time frame is showing a ton of momentum to the downside for SPY. As you guys can see that the alligator right here marked in blue is going to be your bullish band for the alligator, and then marked in yellow is going to be your bearish band. You guys can see that our bearish band is on top, showing us that we are going to see a bearish move to the downside, and our blue band is on the bottom, which is telling us we're going to see more momentum to the downside, and they have a lot of width in between the bands, meaning that this move has a lot of momentum that we could see more downside. Also, we're potentially forming a bear flag here, so we might come back down to 445, 446, and this is a crucial level, this 445, 446 level. If we break below this sloping resistance marked here in yellow, you're gonna see SPY capitulate hard. Okay, you're gonna see SPY capitulate hard. What I'm expecting is an actual bounce from SPY coming up to retest these higher levels, but if it cannot maintain these higher levels, you're gonna see an overall head and shoulders pattern and capitulation to the downside. But if we do not hold this level here, right here, if we come back down and test 446, 447, or 446, 445 around that region and cannot hold that level, you're gonna see SPY capitulate hard. We're gonna see a major crash. This needs to hold as support. If you are bullish on SPY, you want to see 446 hold as support, 445 hold as support, or else you're gonna see a major push to the downside. And I'll tell you guys why I do think that. If we go ahead and look at the weekly time frame, we can see that SPY tested support on the way up for most of this rally as it tested in this bullish megaphone and got this breakout to the upside. But what happened after it got this break to the upside, it went up way too fast. It did not test any support or resistance on the way up. That's how I knew this rally was overextended and we were going to see capitulation to the downside. We can also see that the alligators are starting to get closer together. They had a ton of momentum. You can see that they're starting to lose momentum. We can see that volume is absolutely dropping off a cliff. And we can see that the weekly MACD is starting to curl to the downside while the daily MACD has already flipped. We also have this bearish engulfing on the daily time frame confirmed, and then on the weekly time frame we formed another bearish engulfing candle. This will be confirmed if we close below the level of 446. So if you see SPY close below 446 this week, which I do think it's going to do, it's going to confirm this bearish candle. And if we confirm this bearish candle, it's going to confirm more downside. It's going to show that momentum on the macro time frame has flipped to the downside and the bears are in control. So I do think we're going to see downside on SPY, and I actually do think we're going to close below 446 this week. The Fed said in the FOMC meeting that they're going to be aggressively selling off their balance sheet. That was code to the bank that we're going to see downside and the market's going to start tanking. Again, when the Fed sells off their balance sheet, it's going to cause downside. Also, with the rates being raised, that has a lagging effect of 12 to 18 months. So therefore, we haven't even seen the first effects of the first rate hikes. So we are going to see overall downside. And I do think we're going to be actually entering a major correction on SPY, and actually a correction all the way to the downside back to COVID levels, as crazy as that sounds. We are in a macro bear flag. You guys can see that we had this false break of the bear flag to the upside. This is a bear flag marked in yellow. I do think we're going to break back inside of the bear flag and actually drop all the way back down to at least these levels, if not 4. So it would be 350. If 350 does not hold, I do expect us to come back down in these COVID ranges right here, in this range, and consolidate in this range before pushing to the upside. And this is why I had to warn everyone about this crash, because the people holding up here are about to not see profits for a long time. They're gonna have to hold through a long period of consolidation before we see uptrend. Why do I think that? If we go ahead and look at the technicals, it's calling for a bear flag, calling for downside, and you can also see we had this massive euphoria rally, push to the upside, complacency, and then drop down into anger and depression. Well, look at where SPY is. Push to the upside, drop to the downside. This is your complacency stage. We're about to see a major drop to the downside on SPY. And if you look at what's going on in the market, a lot of people say we just need to cool off before the next bull rally. Well, that's the definition of complacency, and you guys can see that right here, definition of complacency. We just need to cool off before the next bull rally. Well, guys, this is going to lead to overall crash and capitulation, and unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of bear bag holders in this stage. The same thing for AMC. So what will happen is you'll have a massive rally and people will be extremely bullish. And if you're not on your toes, the complacency stage will get you every time. How many people thought AMC was going to go to the moon after this massive bull flag right here? So after we had the 72 rally to set all-time highs, and then we consolidated for those couple of months, and then everyone had that bull flag charted. How many people thought we were going to go higher and make a higher high? That's where they get you. Then you get the complacency rug pull, and how many people got caught in this? How many people got caught in this and that are still holding because they got caught in that complacency stage instead of selling off at the top and doing what smart money does? No offense to anyone, but you have to look at what the herd is doing and do the exact opposite of the herd. Again, fear and greed is a good way to judge this. Look at fear and greed charts. Look at fear and greed indexes. And again, it was extreme greed when you guys seen that huge rally for AMC. And then also look at fear and greed, and then look at psychology as well. You guys can just compare the charts, compare where you are in the cycle, and you guys will be able to determine if this is the complacency stage or not. And I do think we're in the complacency stage for SPY, and we're about to see a major rug pull to the downside. It was the same thing for Bitcoin. I don't know if any of you guys were in the Bitcoin rally, but we had this big Bitcoin rally in 2020. We dropped to the downside. Everyone thought we just need to cool off before the next bull rally into this complacency stage where it went up to that high of 69K. Well, how many people got caught in this as well? Even me personally, I was able to get caught in this. Now, I did load up a huge amount of new BTC positions here in these lower ranges, making my average much, much, much lower under the current price. So I am in profit on my BTC position, but that is a lesson learned, guys. Even if you are bullish on the most bullish asset, or you think that it has the fundamentals to drive it higher, you have to look at the market cycles and let the price ebb and flow, because price has to move in waves. It does not go straight up. It doesn't go straight down. It has to move in waves. And now this cycle, now that we made a higher low in the bear market, I do believe Bitcoin can hit the $80,000 to $100,000 price target that I was thinking it was going to hit in this last bull rally. But now I think it is going to actually come to fruition because it had time to ebb and flow the way it's supposed to. We can see that we're getting this MACD cross here on the monthly time frame, breaking out of the falling wedge. Again, all bullish signs. I do think we're about to see a Bitcoin bull rally into 2024. But guys, this is pretty much everything that I have for you guys on the weekly update and prediction. Again, SPY weekly prediction is going to be a red candle. I do think we're going to see a red candle on SPY based off of the technical analysis and fundamental analysis. And then, of course, over the long term, the macro time frame, I do think we're going to see an overall crash and capitulation to the downside on SPY. Again, I think we're about to see a major correction. I think Bitcoin is about to decouple from SPY. I think AMC and GME are about to decouple from SPY. And me personally, I'm taking most of my MOASS gains and rolling them into crypto, which I did talk about on the live stream. I also talked about passive income strategies and much, much more. So if you didn't see that live stream, go ahead and check that out. But guys, this is the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. And I do have a Discord you can check out for $50 for a lifetime invite. $50 for a lifetime invite. All you have to do is hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, link down below. I talk about my stocks, cryptos, trades all day long. Post live streams, post all of my information, all of my research on the Discord. So if you want minute-by-minute updates and all access to all of my research, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. $50 for a lifetime invite. Again, link down below. I also have a membership you can join for $2.99 a month, cancel at any time. You get validation as a member on the channel. You get validation in my live streams. You get your name put on the home screen of my channel as well. And you get members only access to members only content. $2.99 a month, cancel at any time. And if you want to support me for absolutely free, all you have to do is simply drop a like, leave a comment, and press subscribe. As always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out. All right, guys, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. And remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more Data Zero updates. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you that watched the video to the end, because so few people watch to the end. And as always, have fun, stay safe, make money.